I think everybody needs to be led with a carrot rather than a stick. You know, they need to be inspired rather than told that they need to work hard. And I think that's a very powerful thing to have.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, I don't have to say what.
I feel like I should get a beer or something.
Oh, go for it, dude. If you want to.
I feel like you should give me a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, dude, it's too bad. Like, I don't know if I should be encouraging you to do this at all, but like,
what?
Ever see this?
Is that
bat squat?
Bat? No, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's let me take off the background. So it's from Portland. Like, you know how like Portland has a lot of craft breweries?
Yeah, definitely.
And like normally I don't like IPAs at all, but like, dude, this.
That's a cool
River,
it's a cool can.
So good.
Bat Squatch.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Dude, that looks like shit has like COVID-19 in it.
It's got that. I bought this for quarantine.
Okay.
We're safe. It's so good though.
That's probably worse.
It's 100% legit. This is like anti-COVID right here. This is how you protect yourself. You just stay home and you start drinking. Like, you'll never go out again.
Is that what you've been doing?
Pretty much, dude. Actually, to be honest with you, this is probably the first beer I've had in like 3 months.
2 months?
3 months, maybe. I just haven't been drinking.
Oh. It's been like
I'm a little preoccupied.
A month now? Yeah, since the baby.
Yeah, so he was born on the 26th.
Okay.
11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
18 hours of labor. Yeah, it was pretty big ordeal, but
they go pretty smooth.
Cool, man.
No issues.
Yeah, for the most part.
That's
yeah, and well, there was like a solid like. Okay, so here's how it went. We had gone to the hospital before, like maybe 2 days ago, 2 days before the baby came, and just get her checked up. We thought that she was going into labor, but not the case. And then we go back home. We're chilling. It's like 2 o'clock on the 25th, 2 o'clock at night in the morning. My wife wakes me up and she's like, "Honey, I think my water broke." And I was like, "Yeah." And at this point, like, I had just fallen asleep because I'm working. I'm working from home. I had just fallen asleep, and we get up and we get over to Walnut Creek, and they're asking us like, "Do you have a fever?" Like COVID-19 stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because they're limiting who can go there. You can't bring like your family members. It's only one and your wife. So I was like the only support that I could go there. And we get there. They check her out. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're in labor." And so
yeah, no shit.
Yeah, they're like, "Your water broke. You're definitely dilated." So now they put us in like the triage room. We're hanging, and like the thing is, like, during the whole pregnancy, my wife didn't have like really bad contractions at all. She was pretty good about it. And then when we get there, like, I actually figured out that, oh, this is what a contraction should be. And there was, like, before we got the epidural, her contractions would come every, like 5 minutes or something like that. For that, like, 5-minute window, everything was okay. And then for a solid, like, minute when she's having a contraction, I legitimately thought she wanted to kill me. Like, the way she would look at me was like...
Wow. Like an exorcism.
Yeah. And I've probably been with my wife for like 10 years now, right?
What do you mean? Like, did she like look at you with like anger or something, or like what made you think that?
It wasn't even like.
Or was she just screaming like?
She She wasn't even screaming. It was
Okay.
it was a look like you did this to me. You
It's all
fucked
your
me up.
fault. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
And then what were you doing? Were you like trying to
I'm just
comfort
standing
her?
there like I'm just like it's okay. Like I'm trying to tell her it's gonna be okay. Like you're doing great. You look beautiful. You know,
Dude, it's like in the movies.
baby.
Like, like it's all true. Like when the girl like cusses you out. Like fuck you, nigga. Look what you did. I hate you.
It wasn't any of that, dude. She was too like she was in so much pain she couldn't say that. She would
Okay.
just look at me, say my name once, and then like that was enough just to send chills to my spine. Like
She said your name.
she said my name, but it's the way she said it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but like the way she just looked at me with such like hatred and anger and like said my name was like, damn. I've never
Oh,
seen
that's
something that bad before.
no. I mean, there's no joke, man. I mean, you knew though
Labor.
it was gonna be like labor was painful, right? I mean,
Yeah, so think about it.
they say it's probably the most excruciating things you could feel.
Yeah, I mean I can't speak to the experience myself, but if it definitely looked like that for a while, and so you know the thing is you go to these classes
Sure. Yeah.
before you like the parenting classes, like what to expect when you're delivering and deliver. We did everything by the book, right? And so we did everything by the book.
Okay.
We went to these classes. They're like, here's what you expect from your delivery. And the thing that they don't really mention is like, yeah, it's gonna hurt and you're gonna hate your husband like during this whole ordeal. They just never gave you the perspective from the husband's view. So it's really fucked up, right? Like, all of it from like
Well, they must have told you. They told you what to expect. Maybe they just like expect you to like do the right thing, but you don't know what exactly is.
You don't know what that is. Like you're this there's support mechanism. They don't tell you that like it's gonna suck for the husband too. Like the amount that it sucks for the husband is nothing compared to what the wife's going through.
Sure.
But still, it would have helped if like they mentioned it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's really weird because I think once you have a kid, you sort of realize, oh, that's why the world's this way. Like the reason why men had a traditional like manly role, like you get the food, you make the money, you know, you do this type of stuff, and like
And then the
woman,
girl goes through much
have
more.
that very traditional type of role, and it's not because I'm saying you have to do it. It's just, you know.
It's like, look, I just went through all this. Like, you better do the rest of the shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Why make her go back to work? She just gave birth.
She gave birth, and like honestly, seeing the amount of work that she goes through on a daily basis already with just like caring for newborns insane. So you're like, dang man, like you thought, yeah, it'd be nice to take some maternity leave, right?
Sure, yeah,
I get time off, but you don't really take any time off. You're pretty much like having a full-time job with the little one. You know, it just never stops. But anyway, that's all stuff later in the story. So we're going to the hospital, and I think she's about to kill me. And she looks at me. She's like, "I need an epidural." And I'm like, "Yeah, we can get you that right now."
Is that a painkiller?
Yeah. So they take a catheter and they place it in like between your vertebrae and your lumbar and your lower back.
Okay.
And it delivers like a slow drip of fentanyl, like on a timed interval.
Oh wow.
And you can like press a button and it gives you some more fentanyl too. But they like lock it. They like lock it in a cage when they bring it in the room. They like sign off all this documentation and stuff like that. This can kill you. You know, this is like serious narcotics.
Yeah.
And so they put you on a slow drip, and they're like, you can't take too much. Like the machine won't let you. Blah blah blah.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
It was pretty interesting. Like I didn't know what they had used fentanyl before. All you hear about in the news is like, oh, Mac Miller died from a fentanyl overdose, or you know, like it's super deadly. Like taking fentanyl, they'll cut like heroin with it.
Yeah.
So that was like the only real exposure to it, to be honest. And then you go to the hospital.
That's the first time you heard of it?
Well, I've heard of it, but like I've never seen it used in a medical setting.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, morphine's a thing, but
Yeah.
Fentanyl, no, it's not common, you know.
The first time I heard of fentanyl was in a TV show called Euphoria. It's on HBO. Like, so this girl who like she shouldn't be doing drugs because she got addicted before, but you know she tried fentanyl. Like she got peer pressured into it by like some drug dealer, and then like she just got massively high.
Fentanyl something that you do recreationally, like.
No, yeah, yeah. So there's people. I mean, Mac Miller, right? He took it, but like, yeah, it's a
But he stepped up to it. You know what I mean? It's like you're on
right.
heroin, and then you go to fentanyl. But if
Yeah,
you like straight to fentanyl,
but it's deadly, right? There's a meme out there somewhere on the internet where like they show the lethal dosage of like morphine or cocaine or something or crack cocaine, and then the lethal dosage of fentanyl, and it's like a micro percentage of the dosage of it.
let's pull it up, man. That's crazy. Is it this fatal dose of opioids, heroin, fentanyl, and carfentanil?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Here, I'm gonna link you right now. Check that out.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Heroin, fentanyl. I don't even know what the hell I can't even say that.
It's just like a
Carfentanil, but yeah, that fentanyl. That's what they took in the show, and then like
and that's
took like maybe like a teardrop of it. Took it orally, and she was like massively high, and then she was like so scared that she might die. But she was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway." Like,
what the hell? See,
what?
like, I'm not good with hard drugs, man. It's just not worth it. Like the addiction that you go through. I mean, look what he did. Mac Miller destroyed a promising career.
For sure.
You
Man,
know?
but that's some really strong shit. So he
Yeah.
damn.
So they gave her like I don't know how much it was, but they obviously had diluted it with instant type of solution.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as potent, but just the fact of like
it doesn't even take up the entire surface. It's like little drops.
a few steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably like the pure form of it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So we're 18 hours in labor, and then it's by the time he came out, it was 18 hours. So you sleep like through labor too. Like
Yeah.
there's certain parts of it where the human your wife's just way too tired, and they let you go to sleep a little bit. You're still having contractions, but it's a little bit easier if you have the epidural. You don't feel it as much, and you can sleep through part of it. And even if you go with the natural birth, your wife or your significant other is gonna fall asleep during a certain portion because it's just too much to take at once.
Oh.
So yeah, 18 hours in labor. He's delivered here at like 11 o'clock at night, and it's just me and the baby, and it's
And she's sleeping.
Yeah, they're fixing her up, they're getting her ready, and then you're just like, wow, this is like I'm never gonna be alone again with my wife, basically. Like, it's always gonna be me plus one and her, which is pretty cool to think about too. Like, it really hit me when he first came out, and then the subsequent like day of not sleeping. So so you're in labor, right? And you're like, man, I want this baby to come, like get the baby out. And then when it does come, you're totally unprepared for like your baby's gonna have a bunch of needs that you have to take care of, even though you're sleep deprived. Mm-hmm. So for the next like day and a half, we probably slept in like 1 hour shifts. You're scared to touch your baby. You don't know how to handle him yet. You're not sure like how fragile he is. Mm-hmm. It's really like a full-on learning experience.
Dude, my mom dropped me a few times when I was little.
No way.
Yeah.
Did she tell you this?
It turned out fine. Yeah. One time she left me unattended, and she forgot to put the crib door up.
Oh
And
no!
then she freaked out because I wasn't in the bed anymore. And I was just on the ground. She could have
What was
stepped
wrong?
on me. Yeah.
Okay, but
But
the
she
question
always
is,
jokes around about that. I don't know why.
how many times has she done it?
What, dropped me?
Yeah.
Well, she always reminds me of that story, and I'm pretty sure I hit my head like a bunch more times.
Babies are resilient, man.
Yeah.
Like they're they're pretty strong little things. Like
Yeah.
they're tougher than you think. And so like I would see, and for a while like I was really jealous of like how the medical professionals would handle a baby because they
Mm.
seemed so like sure-footed and like this is how you take care of a baby, and I wanted to be like that. Like they would
Yeah.
swaddle the baby and make it stop crying in like half a minute, and it was like magic to see that because you're sitting here and he's yours, but you don't know how to do any of this stuff. So you're like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Like I don't know where to go learn this, and it's honestly just you learn over time. You figure out like what works for your baby and like what he likes and what makes him feel better, but there's no like there's no instruction book that they give you to like navigate all of that, and it's pretty.
Mm.
You have to put it together yourself. It's kind of like there's guidelines on like what you should do. Like you should feed your baby this. You should breastfeed them.
That's
You
what
should give them,
the hospital gives you.
yeah,
Right.
but ultimately it's completely up to you. And I remember like going to these baby classes, and you see a wide range of people that go there. You know, you see like professionals, you see people that are just teenagers, like just kids that
Yeah.
are having babies right now. You see well-off people that drive really nice cars, and you also see people that just are, you know, your average guy.
Mhm.
But the one thing that you know is that when that baby comes out, they're all in the same boat. They're all
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to do. This baby
Well, what the
has-
hell was the point of the baby class?
I don't know. I maybe you feel better if you go and have your baby, but like I promise you, like once baby's here, all of that stuff just you forget all of it. Like
Oh.
you
Uh-huh.
remember like you should do this, you should swaddle your baby, but
Mhm.
you don't have a practical application to use that type of information. Like you can't test any of it what they're telling you. You're
Mhm.
like you're dressing up a baby like a fake baby.
So you got the fake baby thing, and
Yeah.
you had to walk around with that.
But fake baby doesn't move. Fake baby doesn't roam around.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the danger of dropping it, you know. So I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
you turned out fine and you got dropped. But like, could you imagine how pissed off like she would be if she saw me drop the baby? Like
Oh my
how
goodness.
guilty you would feel too. It's like they don't prepare you for those types of things, and it's something you have to navigate on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's been like what? It's born on the 26th. It's almost 2 months now.
Mhm.
It's like 6, 7 weeks.
It's gonna go. He's gonna grow up fast.
Yeah, he's big, man. You want to see a picture? Here.
That's so cool, dude. Oh man, that was awesome.
You even blocked it out too.
Yeah. Oh, he's cute, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I gotta send you some more pictures offline, but he's
Oh, dude,
it's crazy.
that's
I
great.
didn't think like, you know, when you like, there's definitely like phases of your life, and you're just like, yeah, I want this, or like you always have like some sort of goal.
Yeah.
But when you have a baby, it's pretty cliche what they say, but like it changes your perspective on a lot of things. Like, but like yeah, as I was saying, you don't realize that like your perspective completely flips. You
On
no longer
life, you mean?
care about like
Just your
material
day to
stuff.
day. Okay.
You know, it's like you used to like you like fast cars, right, Chris?
Sure. I mean, I appreciate them.
Yeah, you like driving them. You like the way it makes you feel.
I like the
But-
sound. I like how they look.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All that stuff kind of becomes unimportant.
Mhm.
I still like fast cars, and I still, you know, it's still like a hobby. You'll look at the YouTube videos, but you kind of find yourself not wanting to spend your money on that anymore.
So what?
It's
So what do you want to like? You said you don't want to spend your money on things for yourself, right? So what would you? Um, what are you thinking of buying? Like sending your kid to college, or like getting him like some nice like play setter?
get him a nice playset, nice toy to play with, something to learn with. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm fortunate enough to where I don't have to worry about like being able to afford those types of things. But at the same time, your your like your drive to want to like modify your car, make it faster or better is
It's not
it kind
really
of
there
takes a
anymore.
second. It's not there anymore, and you're not necessarily like, oh, I want to buy this or I want to save my money to buy this for my kid. It's maybe I should just not spend the money and hold on to it for a while and see what happens, especially in like today's climate with COVID-19
Mm-hmm.
and the way the world is today. It's dramatically changed from what it was before. So, you go outside and you see people like still driving their cars fast and like, yeah, I'll give the car some go, when you're out, you're getting groceries because it's fun and it keeps you sane, but it's different now. You don't push it as hard as you used to. Yeah, you gotta drive like a grandma, dude.
You think John drives like a grandma?
Yeah, I think so. I think Janice would kill him. I think, especially that
He's got a Tesla now. That thing's even faster than the Audi.
it is. Have you driven it?
No, I've been in it with Marlon. Like he's come by, and then he's floored it a few
Oh
times.
yeah,
We went up into the hills for a bit, so
in
I drove
Hayward.
around. No, there's like some hills up here in San Francisco, like over in like
Oh, Marlon went to go visit you.
yeah,
Oh,
like San
nice.
Bruno Mountains. I think that's what it's called.
Think about this for a minute though. So you get out and you do like these little things that keep you sane, the things that keep you human, right? You turn off your music because you want to hear your own thoughts. You want to turn up your own volume, or you go outside and it's therapy for yourself. Really, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to clean your own internal you got to organize yourself, right? However you do that. And then there's another aspect of like therapy for us, is seeing friends, being social, having a good conversation, or just spending time with somebody that you like. You don't even have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You just go shit.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things now you can't really, or in large parts were affected in some way by me not wanting to go out and risk catching COVID-19 and then infecting my son, my newborn son. I don't know how it's going to affect him, or my wife, or
Or your
or
mother-in-law. Yeah.
even my mother-in-law. Those are things that I'm not really willing to take a risk with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it dictates a large portion of how we live our lives now. The only time I get out is for my run every day with my dog, and then whenever I go on these sightseeing things, staying in the car with me and
Mm-hmm.
my family.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard to see. Our lives are definitely impacted. And I think for me, going to the city last week and just seeing people at the park not caring about social distancing, it's like, wow, man, I can understand like why people do it. They want to get out. You're feeling stir crazy. You gotta get some
Mm-hmm.
sunlight, and it's like it's gone on for long enough, kind of thing. You got cabin fever for sure. But
Yeah.
there's no right answer. I think what I'm trying to say is I can certainly understand why the lockdown's still going on and why we need to have it, but it still doesn't stop the like way people are feeling that they need to get out. The two very exclusive feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to get out. I want to live my life as normal, and like you want to be safe too, but you know,
Yeah.
sometimes living your life takes a bit more precedence than that for some people, which is funny. It's funny to see too. Now I know, like on my runs, I run behind a hill behind my house, and it's before that, I would see nobody up there. Maybe 1 or 2 people on my run. Now it's like families, like 8 people deep on like a really small path, and nobody's wearing a mask. And it's kind of like, man, you know, people, you yourself can only take it as seriously as you want to, and it's up to you to decide like your own level of comfort. But it kind of stings to see like people being in large groups and not wearing masks when going outside, because the masks truthfully don't really protect me. It protects everybody else, right?
Yeah.
I could be the asymptomatic carrier. I'm wearing it to protect you from myself.
Exactly.
And it is like everybody has that courtesy.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part, like for now, because you see people like on Instagram or on YouTube living their lives as they would normally, and it's kind of like a slap in the face a little bit, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely not fair, for sure.
But I don't blame them either. You know, I don't want to be like I'm mad at them, or I can understand where they're coming from too. You know, they all have their own economic impacts too that they deal with. They have their families that they deal with too. But I can't change it. I can't tell them like, am I going to tell them to wear a mask? Like, they're not going to listen to me.
But it kind of gives the impression that they just don't care about maybe you and I, you know, as much.
I'm sure that's reality for a lot too.
And that's like the fucked up thing. Like if you think about it, like I was telling another friend, like, you know, those people who are protesting about not wearing masks, those people that don't want to wear masks, look, like you're affecting like other people's, you know, realities and free will, you know?
For sure.
Like you said, like by not wearing masks, you could be passing the virus around, and then that's my life that you're affecting.
Definitely.
And like, did I have a choice? Like I wore my mask and stuff, but you know.
Yeah.
And I think some people just aren't thinking that way.
I think you're right. I don't think they have the luxury to think that way for some people, you know? Like, maybe they're only on survival mode right now. 30% of Americans don't have jobs now, man. I feel like finding a job right now is tough, man. Like, before it was a job market for sure, but now it's like people are trying to hold on to their jobs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird too, because like it's not the usual route. You're gonna do phone interviews for pretty much everything. There's gonna be no like, come visit the office and meet the team, kind of deal.
Yeah, they don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
You can't go to an office. I mean, look at Twitter. It's all fully remote now.
I think, they might do that for like the foreseeable future. I don't think they really care. Everyone seems to be fine working remotely. But I think like companies like Facebook, they actually, like Facebook and Apple, I think they're like one of those companies that actually want you to come in because they believe in like the collaboration aspect. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, think about that too. I mean, think about how it's going to change, you know, what it means to live in the Bay too. You have people with fully remote jobs working for tech now, and if you don't have an absolute need to be near your office or in the valley, people are going to start moving away. It only made sense to live in the Bay Area because you had to go to the office, or you know, you had a job that demanded you be local to. This now with remote work becoming so popular and widely accepted by people, it's
why even live in the most expensive city in the world?
Why am I paying this rent? You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's interesting.
Nice. Like how many of your friends do you know own a house?
Shit. I know Cindy does. That's about it. Maybe John.
Yeah, so Cindy's gone, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else that owns a house, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's only thinking about my college friends, like the people that we went to school with. Like everybody that we know is
that's crazy,
right? They're all smart people.
Yeah.
And they're all from these areas too. Like they're all from California, but nobody can afford a house. It's crazy, man.
I mean, now's a good time, I guess, right? Interest rates are low. Market
Yeah,
crash.
it just the economy's crashing.
Yeah,
Let's just buy a house.
this is the right time to do it. So how do you think this is all going to play out? Like, if you could predict, like, when is this
I don't know.
COVID-19 thing going to end? When are
I mean,
are
so
we? What would be like the new normal? Or if we ever get back to a or if we get back to a normal at all?
I think we're seeing some of it now. Um, I work for Kaiser, but I don't work in the hospitals. Um, I work on the portfolio management office, program management office, doing portfolio, and we see cool projects that Kaiser is trying to do to help mitigate some of COVID-19's impact, and they're changing the way that they do business, right? And I think they have to. A lot of stores have even changed the way that they do business. You see like the plexiglass between you and the cashier.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wear a mask, sanitizer at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are probably here to stay for a while. Those are very like frontline things that you can do that are easy, like wear a mask, wash your hands, sanitizer, barriers. Um, but in terms of how your life changes, I think it's really highlighted how much we can leverage technology for our daily lives. Like we work remotely now, right?
Right.
You're talking to me right now. You're looking at me with a fake background, and I'm looking at you. And we're having this chat,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're safe, right? We can have this. We can shoot the shit. We can talk about anything that we want to, and you couldn't do that 10 years ago, or you could. It just wasn't as good, right?
Mm-hmm.
The quality wasn't there.
It's a step up from just like texting and calling for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
could
pretty
you
cool.
imagine doing this in college?
Well, yeah, actually, okay, so I have been doing this since college. Like, I had a long distance relationship in college, and like my first
Yeah,
year, I was always webcamming and shit.
yeah,
Um,
but it didn't look as good.
we couldn't have like the backgrounds and stuff, um, but it wasn't normal before.
Yeah,
I think
right.
we're kind of adjusting to this. I remember when I first got my job at BlackRock, I was kind
Yeah.
of new to the whole webcam in the office thing, and I realized that my desk phone was connected to the webcam. Every time I picked it up, my webcam would like turn on immediately. So it was kind of a
Oh,
trip.
really?
Yeah, like I'd be like on the phone, and then I'd see the guy looking at me. So I don't know. I think it's slowly gotten to that. Like right
Yeah,
now is normal. Like how you have a conversation with people remotely. I feel like this is kind of normal. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like always, using video with the call,
Why do you like the video?
because I could see like your reaction to what I'm saying. Um, I don't know. I think body language is like half of the conversation, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that nonverbal communication.
yeah. I mean, obviously, it doesn't replace like actually getting to be physically
See,
see
somebody.
see someone, but um, I don't know. It's definitely I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but so to step up, right? We can agree that like it's definitely evolved over time, and video chat's probably been as good as it's ever been right now. And
Yeah. And you can do like the whole group thing. I think that's kind of been like
yeah,
the game changer.
I think it's cool. This wasn't a thing before, right? Like now this is trending. Like being able to do this and have Zoom chats because you
Mhm.
can't visit anybody anymore. But just just to point out, when I wasn't living in America, video chat was the only way that I saw my parents for a long time, right?
Mhm.
And even they use it now. So that's the coolest thing for me. That technology is starting to touch all generations,
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
that transformative aspect is definitely making life easier. So I think when you ask me where is this going to go, where I think it's going to go, you're going to see a lot more technology. I think VR is going to become thrust into the limelight a little bit to help augment some of the inability for us to go outside. or that danger that we feel. Even if we have a vaccine, there's going to be those of us that can't get the vaccine due to pre-existing conditions, or they're immunocompromised, or other various underlying health issues. And for those people, this is the reality for a long time. But for the others that are healthy and fortunate, they can utilize technology and leverage other ways to beat this thing. So it's definitely different for everybody, but the only thing that's really going to help us is these types of ideas and innovation and technology to make our lives operate in different ways.
Like, here's a simple question. Like, when did you know that you wanted to get married? Like, how far in?
That's a good question. I don't think there is a defining moment, for me at least. Some people may have a defining moment, but I had lived with my now wife for, I want to say,
in Indonesia? 5 years?
Yeah, about a little longer than that, 6 years, 6, 7. Like in total of knowing her. I don't think there was a distinct defining moment. You're in a relationship and you get to know your partner really well. You change with them, I think that's part of like why you stay with somebody, is because you guys are able to change together in ways that still match each other. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even a year ago. And you're just constantly changing, so is your partner. And I think when you spend a meaningful amount of time with somebody, you know them, right? She knows all the bullshit that I get up to, and same with her. But part of it's a game that you just keep playing, and I think you have to have fun doing it. So with Mike, he's been with his girlfriend for 10 years, and he knows her really well, and they haven't gotten married yet, and they could feel like, yeah, discounts a part of their lives in a certain way. But I would almost present the opposite argument too, that the relationship's much stronger that they stayed together without having to be married. That they choose to live their lives together even though they don't have to.
Did anything change for you after you got married? Did you feel any difference?
I got a piece of paper. I had to pay money for it, but I didn't feel any different. Before you asked me, like, what was the moment that you thought, man, I got to get married or something like that?
Yeah.
It never boiled down to me for that. But the thing that I constantly ask myself pretty regularly is, am I a better person by being with my significant other? And I think if you can say yes for the majority of the times, then, yeah, man. If she makes you a better person and you make her a better person, yeah, then you've got the winning formula,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's something that you asked yourself, or kind of came to a conclusion.
I don't think you ever come to a conclusion, but it's like a checkpoint, right? Like, am I better by being with this person? Do I make her better too? And it's almost a way too to keep your own self honest, because it's like maybe you get lazy, or you have your own things that are going on with your life. Like, you're not always able to answer that question with a yes, and that's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up over it, but I think it helps provide a waypoint for you, something to help guide you.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. But, like, you have a kid now, and like, I think, I mean, money is a topic that I feel like you don't just let them, your kid kind of find out what it is, right? Sure. I think you're going to have some opinion on it and how you're going to decide to raise them and how to value it. So have you thought about how you would do that?
No, I haven't really, but it's a good question. I don't think I have. I think it's too early, but I do know I draw examples from like when I was growing up, and I know other people that have kids too, and you kind of learn.
Because your kids, I don't know, would you say that your kid kind of is growing up in the same situation that you grew up in?
Yes, but no. I mean, he had my parents were together when I was growing up, and they still are.
Mm-hmm.
They were well off. Um, my parents had always been decently well off. They'd never. Um, I don't think they were ever poor. I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember going without either.
Yeah. So
When
about the
when I
same.
was maybe 2 years old, I think they bought our house in Elk Grove in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in a house. Now I live in an apartment because it's the Bay Area. Obviously.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's a little bit different. But I don't think from a status or like a financial standpoint they'd go without, or they're any worse off than my parents were. But I also think the world's different. Like the world that I grew up in, or that we grew up in, is not the world that our
True.
children grow up in.
True. Yeah.
It'll look different. Things are definitely different now. And like let's say that we're ignoring COVID-19, right, for a minute. Even withstanding that, me being able to afford a house was just not really a possibility, despite whatever salary I get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's reality for a lot of people in this area. But the other thing that I wanted to touch on too is I think comparing your salary with my salary, because I live in California and I work here, is much different than the salary that I had when I was working and living in Bali. Yet my quality of life, I would say, is probably pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Despite my salary in Bali being 11 times away from what it is now, essentially. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's how crazy it is. And I think it's cheap to say that I make this much money and compared to somebody else that's not in your same geographic area, because the cost of living is so much different, and the industries are different, and the lifestyle. But if you're looking at a global scale, then yeah, it is very much a measuring contest. Like I make this much money, and truth be told, if you work in tech in California, you are already in the top percentage of the world, salary wise.
True. Yeah. But
And it doesn't feel that way, right?
mm-hmm.
Like
Can't buy a house.
I don't feel rich. I don't feel but I think I am. I think we are rich in certain ways. Like we have houses over our heads, we have food, we have things that we like, we have nice laptops.
Privileged.
Privileged,
Yeah.
very much so. And I think growing up here, you kind of lose your perspective a little bit. I definitely changed a lot after college, right? Like just living in a different country, and I think getting to what's important. I think I was able to focus on what's important. And so, we spoke a little bit earlier about fast cars, and I like fast cars a lot. And that was actually one of the motivations for trying to move back here, is because I wanted a fast car, right?
Yeah.
But, I think the person that you are today, the person that you were doesn't have to be the person you are tomorrow. And I think your perspective is always changing. So it's very much, I don't feel any richer than I do. I don't feel richer here than I did when I was in Bali. I'll tell you that. But I think it's not how much money you make. I think it's how you spend it and who you spend it on.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think
I kind of started to develop a different perspective too on, money, and you kind of said it right there. Like how you use it is more important than how much you're actually making, or how much you've like saved up or earned. And that's because I'm exactly, and it's like gasoline. Like I found this cool analogy, like you use money like a tool. Like it can get you from point A to B,
Absolutely.
And then once you get to your destination, the money stays in the car. It doesn't like go anywhere else. You use it to fuel where you're trying to go. And I think that's what counts as what I'm trying to say.
That's a really cool way to look at it.
Yeah, and I don't think I grew up with that kind of, vision. I mean, I kind of had the impression that I need to acquire things so that I can eventually have passive income. So that lesson's always been there and still is there. But once you have that income, what are you going to do with it? Like that, I had never made that connection. So that's something I'm trying to develop and trying to get that thought out. I don't know, maybe help people who haven't thought, who still think that, how much money is correlated to how big your dick is.
Let me ask you this. I mean, now that we're on the topic, like, about money and stuff like that, like, you live in the city, right? You know how painfully expensive it is to buy a house there. Do you see yourself staying in the city long term?
Am I staying in this? Have I decided if I want to stay in the city?
Like, yeah, do you see yourself staying there long term?
I'm open to moving out. Like, I need a purpose to move out. Like, I have things to do here if I were to stay here. I think if I get a job, if I can save money staying here, I will. If it's actually easier and less stressful to move out, I will. Right now, this is where, I can easily find work, but it also depends on, like, if my, I guess, personal life changes. Like, if I decide to start a family somewhere else, that's also, I'm also open to that. I'm definitely not set, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, and staying in the Bay Area. Like, I don't feel like I have to. I think before I was I have like this pride, like I want to be a Bay Area person forever and all that, which, sounds great. I think in a way it's kind of cool. It has a nice ring to it, but like, I'm more open-minded now, and I'm hoping that being more open-minded will just open up other opportunities. Because before, if I, always had that narrow mindset, then I don't know. I just think it would be different, or the outcome would be much, much different.
Yeah, I think I want to wrap up with one thing. I was in your shoes during college, and even before that. So I know we touched on it a little bit, but when I was in high school, I took a trip to Singapore, and we went to like Thailand and Indonesia and Japan and a lot of Asian countries, and it was really cool. Like, I had never been, and I had traveled when I was a kid. Like, I was pretty decently well off. Like, my parents took vacations to like Mexico, Hawaii, things like that. They weren't like extravagant, but they were nice. Like, they spent some money, and so. When I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to go to university, and we went to Santa Cruz. And then during college, I got really interested in going abroad, and I was battling for a long time with, like, why do I want to do that? You live in California, you live in a relatively decent part of California that people, for a lot of people, going to California is idyllic. It's a goal, or living there is a goal, and people, you see some jealousy from it too. And I fought for a long time, like, why do I want to go to somewhere else? Like, if this is the best place in the world, or people say it's the best place in the world, but it goes deeper than that. The grass always seems greener on the other side, no matter where you are. It always sounds great to go somewhere else, or always try to reconcile reasons not to do something. And I think that it's crippling when you put it in that perspective. Like, when you come up with all these reasons not to do something that, like going abroad. I'm not talking about like making stupid financial decisions either, but I think there are certain things that you can't put a price tag on, like knowledge, experience, or cultural enrichment. Those things you should absolutely spend the money for. And it may not always just be currency that you're spending. It could be emotional currency, or your health, or your physical ability, or your energy. Like those types of things are currency in a way too that you have to spend, and they're finite. They're not infinite. You can't get more of it sometimes. But the thing that was powerful for me is I didn't know why I wanted to go, and I still went anyways. And I think that I'm 100. I would absolutely do it again, like without a question. Uh, you definitely change. Like when you go somewhere and you don't fully speak the language and you don't have your routine down, and being able to go someplace and work and live is a test that not many people get to have for themselves, and it provides you with, like, I wouldn't even say confidence or knowledge, but it provides you with, like, just, you can do it if you really had to, and being able to say that, yeah, yeah, I had to do it and you did it. That's worth more than, like, I live in the Bay full time or I'm from California. I think your experiences define you far more than where you're from. So that's just the final thought I wanted to leave on.
I like that. Yeah, thanks, man. Like, I think, in a way, every time we talk about you between, like, all the fellas, um, we definitely see and we're happy that you were able to experience that. And it's something that, it's a cool lesson for sure. Like, I think you elaborated, like, really well. And I agree, like, totally, 100%. And that's kind of helped me in a sense kind of break away from all those, you know, ideas that I had of myself before. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. It's real. I was in it, like, but you carry a part of it too. Like, you carry from where you're from too.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to be a part of the Bay Area, and it's always going to be part of you no matter what. But yeah, where you're from doesn't have to define you, man. There's so much more out there that you can choose. Like, you can't choose where you're from, but
Mm-hmm.
you can choose where you're going and what experiences you have. And I think that, choose the interesting path. Don't choose the boring one.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, we'll see. I think, so I think I'm heading towards, like, a corner in my life or a place where I need to make a turn.
Yeah.
And I can feel it happening. I just don't know when that turn is coming or, like, where it's going to lead. So
It's scary.
I mean, I can't really describe it other than what I just said, but that's where I feel like I am in life. But yeah, I think
There's no wrong choice.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like how we kind of ended on kind of a really deep note, and I hope we kind of carry this and do this again.
Let's do it again, man. Let's set up some time with the boys to, like, just hop on.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll end it at that.
All right, man.
All right. Have a good night, man. Enjoy your time with the baby,
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.